Hello you sexy biscuits and welcome into Manor Lords. I've been contacted multiple times by you guys to take a look at a medieval game called Manor Lords. Now, to be honest, I hadn't heard of this game, and the fact you were asking me to take a look at this before the game is even in early access in fall of 2020 means that you guys are pretty excited, and I can see why. The gameplay you've been seeing in the background is from their Steam page, and this game looks incredible. You guys know I love medieval games. A majority of my channel has been focused on Kingdom Come Deliverance, and from the game screenshot alone, you can see that this does look very similar. But the interesting thing about this is that it's not an open world RPG. This is a medieval RTS city builder, and that is incredible. So I'm gonna have gameplay and screenshots in the background here so you guys can see what this game is all about. When I'm doing that, I'm going to read you the description from Manor Lords. Manor Lords is an upcoming medieval strategy game for PC that combines deep, organic and realistic city building with large-scale tactical battles. So basically, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance crossed with Anno, and I'm very excited about this. Manor Lords aims to provide a gridless, organic city building experience with full freedom of placement, rotation, but utilizing snapping tools to make the planning more comfortable. The building mechanic is motivated by the growth of real medieval towns and villages, where major trade routes and landscapes often influence how the settlement is shaped and developed. And you guys can see there is so much detail in here for an RTS. Generally, when you zoom in to an RTS, they look okay, but they never look that high detail up close. But good God, this looks good. If you had told me that this was an add-on for Kingdom Come Deliverance, I would believe you. It looks that good. While the game is not set in a particular century, every building is inspired by historical references from the 12th to the 15th century. And yes, you can tell this game has amazing attention to detail from what I can see right now. I am very excited. I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Oh, bloody hell, Boris, don't do that. What have I told you about? Oh no, he's got himself a little chair. How are you sat on that? This game is going to be released in early access, and yeah, that's good, I think. For most games, early access is absolutely fine, but there have been games that have released in early access, Daisy, that have been stuck in that early access limbo for about 15 million years. I'm worried that this is going to be the same case. I'm hoping that's not the case, but let's be honest, it is a slight worry. If everything that they're showing in the gameplay that they have released on their Twitter, which I'll be leaving a link to in the description below, and on Steam, then this is looking fantastic. This looks better than any early access game I've seen. Now, I've been contacted by a lot of developers who have these small, more independent medieval games that don't look fantastic, but I will say right now that Manor Lords has my hopes up. It looks really good. So one of the biggest negatives that was brought to Kingdom Come Deliverance was the fact that there were no large-scale battles that were shown in those original Kickstarter trailers. But from what I can see here in this footage from Steam, you have a multitude of NPCs on screen there. They all seem animated. They seem to be doing their thing properly. You can even see some kind of trying to get around the back of the other ones, and I really like that. It seems like their AI seems pretty decent. Manor Lords aims to portray battles that feel real, with large-scale unit formations, morale, flanking, fatigue, weather and equipment all coming into play. Position your troops wisely. Even a smaller force can be a large one if commanded well. Cavalry, fortifications, units on walls, gunpowder and siege engines, trebuchets are a work in progress but will certainly be present in the final game. Now, the final piece of their Steam page says this. This game is created by a solo developer. You can reach out to me and share your opinions, ideas and criticisms. I listen to your feedback. And that's fantastic. You should be listening to your community's feedback. That is the most important thing. I will say that sometimes in certain games, it's not great listening to the community the entire time, because otherwise your game will end up straying so far from the original idea that it's not the same game anymore. I think a perfect example of that is Cube World, that released and was so fantastic in its early betas, but it got changed so much by the developer going back and constantly updating things to the point where it wasn't the same. I'm hoping that isn't the case here. And also, I will say, a single developer creating a game is gonna be hard. I've been contacted by solo developers before, and I always try and say that they should get some form of team, because the more people they have to help, the better. Now, am I saying that every single development team is going to fail? No, of course not. Look at Stardew Valley, for an example. That game was made by one person and is fantastic. Also, Minecraft. I mean, there are success stories, and I'm really hoping this is one, but I will say, keep that in mind while looking at this game. In terms of holding expectations, the work they have done on this is blatantly fantastic, and I'm so impressed. To the point where I am very excited about getting my hands on early access. And I'm gonna say right now, if you're watching this video, Manor developer, hello, I'm Sexy Biscuit, and I cover medieval games and Barbie's horse adventure. If I could get some gameplay footage of this game so we can see it in action, even if it's early, that would be amazing. I think the more you can show early on, the better, because you will gain your community's trust, and you've been doing a great job of that so far. I've had instances where people have said, oh yes, the game is going to have this, this, and this, and this, and then none of that comes to fruition, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, that is Manor Lords, and I'm very impressed. I will be doing videos on this game. I'm hoping you go and check them out. Link in the description below to their Steam page as well as their Twitter. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think. Look at that, a medieval game returning to the channel. Brilliant. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, but until next time, that's me. Out. Bye, guys.